Bienvenidos. Gracias por estar con nosotros hoy. Welcome. Thank you for being with us today. My name is Abby Robinson, and I'm the Chief Strategy Officer and an Atlas Core alum. Today, I'm here to tell you about a special Atlas Core opportunity to engage social impact professionals from Nicaragua. And we're also going to have something special. It's going to be a very bilingual conversation today. We have myself and we have two of our alums from Nicaragua who are joining us. So we encourage you, as you're joining in, as you're commenting, do so in English, do so in Spanish. We look forward to engaging with you all. So, highlights of our conversation today. I will provide you a brief program overview, and then I'll be joined by two of our alums from the Atlas Core Virtual Leadership Institute, Brian and Maria, both from Nicaragua. They will share their firsthand experience about participating in our program. In addition, we'll take your questions at the end of the stream. So please feel free to add questions to the comment section, and we'll answer as many as we can. Now, let's talk about this program. Atlas Core engages talented global professionals committed to social impact in professional development programs. The classic programs that we've been operating for 16 years is a 12 to 18-month professional fellowship, serving with U.S. host organizations, either in person or remotely. So far, our community includes 1,500 professionals from 115 countries. During the pandemic, Atlas Core launched a new program called the Virtual Leadership Institute to continue and deepen our engagement with global social impact leaders, even while travel was difficult. The Institute aims to create empowered, trained, and network individuals as the most effective means to raise social impact on local and global levels. Now, today we're talking about the Atlas Core Nicaragua Professional Development Initiative, which aims to engage 10 social impact professionals from Nicaragua interested in structured professional development and strengthening ties between the U.S. and Nicaragua toward economic development and inclusive prosperity in Nicaragua. In addition, our scholars from Nicaragua will join our global community of more than 1,500 professionals from 115 countries. So, mi gente de Nicaragua, mira, hoy tenemos la oportunidad para ustedes. Hay que ver bien las fechas importantes. Mira, tenemos una fecha límite de aplicar de 15 de noviembre y de ahí vamos a tener un proceso de selección entre diciembre hasta enero y el programa empieza oficialmente en marzo de 23 hasta julio. Y si quieres aprender más, hay que ir a nuestra página web nicaragua.atlascore.org. nicaragua.atlascore.org. Okay, let's talk a little bit about who is eligible for this initiative. First, you must be a citizen and a resident of Nicaragua. We request that you're between 22 to 35 years old, that you have a bachelor's degree or equivalent. So if you have extensive work experience or potentially a 2-year degree, add that to your application. There may be some opportunities for you. English proficiency, oral, writing, and reading. While Atlas Core is a global program and we have many different languages, it's important to note that our programs are delivered in English. That is our universal language that all our participants from any country utilizes. And then 2 or more years of full-time professional experience. And this can be working. This can be potentially like a volunteer experience, perhaps an internship. So 2 years of experience. Now let's talk a little bit about the Virtual Leadership Institute. What does it involve? So the Virtual Leadership Institute consists of 5 modules, or really learning groups. So first is our orientation. That's what will start in March 2023. And then each month, we touch on another topic. The second month will be developing self. We talk about emotional intelligence, navigating cognitive bias. The third month is developing others, conflict resolution, giving and receiving feedback, decision making. And then the fourth month is leading organizations. storytelling for change, building your professional network. And then the 5th month is a reflection. And what we're really trying to achieve is, as social impact leaders, as individuals growing in your professional skills, we feel that these are leadership knowledge and skills that can transfer to any social issue, any professional role. So we're going to bring all of you together, and we're going to enhance your skills and abilities on these key topics. And then in addition to these modules, Atlas Core has a community project. Each scholar will design a community project, and it can be an activity, a training session, or a venture that works toward inclusive prosperity by increasing access to entrepreneurship and/or economic development opportunities for women, youth, rural populations, and/or minor groups. And to all of you who are interested in applying for this program, I want to define this community project a little more. Some of you may have an idea, and that's great. We'll ask you about your idea, and during the Virtual Leadership Institute, you can develop that idea with the goal of leading toward implementation. Some of you may have a project or an activity or something you're working on right now. That's also a great opportunity to enhance it. It can be existing, so you can grow what you're doing and have it grow bigger. So think about that. What is a way that you can engage in your community or enhance activities you're doing at a current professional job? That is your community project. And an added incentive is that there is a community impact fund that will provide seed funding for participants to implement projects in Nicaragua. So during the Virtual Leadership Institute, you, along with other scholars, will enhance that project, and then there'll be an opportunity to apply for small grants funding, approximately up to $500 to $1,000 that will be used to forward the implementation and the advancement of that project. And now let's talk about some of the benefits of participating in the Virtual Leadership Institute and becoming what we call a scholar. First, it's 100 hours of free professional development training, and then access to additional Atlas Core trainings and opportunities. And to note, all of these are delivered virtually, so you can access from where you are located. In addition, eligibility for funding to develop your community project through that Community Impact Fund, and then connection with other professionals from Nicaragua and from all over the world. Our scholars will join our global network, our growing global network of 1,500 leaders from 115 countries. Are you excited? I hope so. Let's talk about how you can apply. Here are some application tips. Reminder, visit our website, nicaragua.atlascore.org, and you will find access to our application as well as all of these details. So when you're filling out your application, here are some recommendations we have. Be specific and provide examples. What are you working on? How have you applied your leadership? How are you going to grow? Think about your motivation. Why do you want to participate in this program? Write a strong 1-paragraph bio. This is no time to be humble or to be shy. Tell us about you, where you've come from, what you've learned, where you've studied, what you're involved in. We want to know about you. Of course, check over your spelling and grammar. The application will be submitted to us in English. So please ensure that you've checked over those fine-tuning pieces. That's a key leadership skill, is making sure you're submitting a quality application. And then practice before recording your video. Yes, we have a video piece that you submit so we get to know you a little better, to share a little about yourself. So we encourage you, record that video and then watch it and then practice, improve it, and then submit your final version. So now that you've heard about the Virtual Leadership Institute, you've heard about the community projects, you've heard about some tips for applying, let's hear about individuals who have successfully participated in this program and continue to be inspirations in their community and in the region. I'm excited to welcome 2 Atlas Core alumni to the virtual stage, Brian Castillo and Maria Asuncion Castillo from Nicaragua. And we're going to go through a conversation. They're going to share a little bit about their experience and what they've gained. So my first question, and as I said in the beginning, we encourage a bilingual conversation. So please answer as you're inspired, as you think your fellow country potential applicants might be inspired as well. So first, Maria and Brian, I'd love to hear about your background and what you currently do and what attracted to the field you're working in. So Maria, how about you go first and then Brian can follow.
Okay, so I currently work for Plan International and I am a communications and cooperation manager. But when I applied for the Virtual Institute, I was working for Covenant House or Casa Alianza Nicaragua. And it was an extremely valuable experience because I was able to learn more about my leadership style and then how to express my way of leadership to others. So it's very important for you to know yourself first in order to be able to lead better others.
Excellent. Thank you. And Brian, how about you?
Bien, yo lo voy a hacer en español. Pues ahora estoy trabajando como voluntario en un programa de mentoría, soy mentor. Cuando apliqué para el Instituto Virtual de Liderazgo el año pasado, yo estaba trabajando para una compañía de outsourcing, proveyendo soporte técnico. Pero soy trabajador social y he estado trabajando en el ámbito de non-profit por más de 8 años. Y eso fue lo que me motivó como participar del programa, ¿no? Como para obtener más capacidades de liderazgo y de desarrollar como proyectos también, que es una parte esencial de este programa de liderazgo de Atlas Course.
Bueno, ustedes son impresionantes, ¿verdad? Okay, now tell me, why did you apply for the Virtual Leadership Institute? And going beyond that, why would you recommend someone else to apply? And Brian, let's have you go first. We'll reverse it this time.
Bien. Yo apliqué porque quería como obtener más conocimiento sobre formulación de proyectos. Quería hacer networking. Es súper importante y es fundamental para este programa. Y también creo que es importante que la gente de Nicaragua participe porque es un programa que te va a proveer con herramientas para tu desarrollo profesional y personal. Y también creo que para mí lo más importante fue networking. Yo en muchas de las diferentes actividades pude conocer gente de todo el mundo y con mi mentor en particular pude aprender muchísimo. La guianza, por así decirlo, fue como muy individual. Entonces fue como muy personalizada y cumplí con todas mis expectativas.
Vale, gracias. ¿Y María?
Ok, bueno, ya que estamos en español, continuaré en español. Sí, a mí, igual que a Brian, lo que más me llamó la atención fue el networking, o sea, poder trabajar con colegas que estaban en África, estaban en Europa, estaban en Estados Unidos, yo estaba en Nicaragua. Y lo bonito es que muchas de las cosas que yo tenía como problemas o lo que quería mejorar en mi organización, ellos también lo tenían. Entonces, en los grupos que teníamos mensuales, discutíamos estas cosas, ¿verdad? Y nos ayudábamos los unos con los otros. Entonces, por ejemplo, mi proyecto, porque teníamos que hacer un proyecto también, se trataba de cómo posicionar mi organización. Entonces, una de las chicas que estaba en mi grupo de sesiones mensuales, ella era experta en brand positioning en su organización. Entonces, me dio unos tips buenísimos y más bien yo era grant writer en mi organización. Entonces, yo le di tips de cómo podía ella hacer grants en su organización. Entonces, fue un intercambio muy fluido, muy bonito. Aprendí mucho de mis colegas y lo que me gusta es que es self-paced, ¿verdad? Entonces vos vas a tu paso. Había momentos que como profesionales realmente tenemos que poner el trabajo primero, la familia, entonces no daba chance de hacer las tareas, pero Atlas es súper accommodating, entonces ellos entendían que tenés una vida, ¿verdad? Que tenés otras prioridades y entonces te permitían tener extensiones de ciertas tareas, pero a mí realmente me gustaba cumplir con todas las tareas porque te invita mucho a la reflexión. Entonces creo que eso es muy importante de este proceso de que te dicen como que, ok, vamos por paso, ¿verdad? Primero tienes que completar esto, entonces te ayuda a reflexionar y ya cuando llegas al final ya ves como que todo el big picture. Entonces por eso comenzamos con developing self, developing others y después leading organizations, porque así es como, pues, cuando ya estás en el proceso, te das cuenta que sí, primero tienes que conocerte a vos para poder ayudar a otros y después eventualmente ayudar a toda una organización o en mi caso cuando yo lo recibí era Leading Movement, entonces poder ser líder y poder ayudar a otros a llegar a donde, a tener su mejor potencia.
Vale, vale. Y la reflexión personal, profesional, las conexiones internacionales, todos son buenos. And I just want to take a moment for those of you who just may have joined our live stream. We are here today talking about a special initiative within the Atlas Core Virtual Leadership Institute for professionals from Nicaragua. And we are talking to two of our alumni from Nicaragua who participated in the Virtual Leadership Institute. And so while we're talking here in Spanish, English is the language that we'll use in the program, though since we are engaging with professionals from Nicaragua and recruiting them, we're having a bilingual conversation. So on that note, back to some interesting insights from Maria and Brian. Okay, ¿cuáles fueron los momentos especiales o tal vez un momento especial que ustedes tuvieron durante la experiencia del instituto? Y María, ¿quieres compartir un poquito?
Sí, hay algo que no se me va a olvidar porque mi proyecto era de brand positioning y entonces yo le decía a mi mentora, que una mujer fabulosa, ¿verdad? De que ella me dice, no, pero es que tenés que verlo, yo le decía, Ala, pero es que nosotros tenemos como un 30% de éxito en lo que hacemos, entonces pues, no, es que como lo tenés que vender es de que una en 3 personas tienen éxito en tu programa. Entonces, eso me quedó aquí y yo dije, ok, entonces en todas las comunicaciones voy a decir, si vos invertís en nuestra organización, 1 de 3 chavalos van a dejar la droga. Entonces, y así, o sea, se volvió súper vendible.
Vale, vale. ¿Y Brian?
Para mí fueron como los cafés virtuales y los tés virtuales. Eso es como parte del programa, es una oportunidad que vos puedes conectar con gente que está participando en el programa, pero como en diferentes aspectos, ¿verdad? Para mí el highlight fue haber tenido una reunión con uno de mis compañeros, por así decirlo, y estábamos trabajando en un proyecto muy similar. El mío era enfocado como en educación, pero con jóvenes. El de él era enfocado con jóvenes, pero en salud pública. Y nos dimos muchísimo feedback. Al final nos dimos cuenta que estábamos trabajando como en algo similar, con módulos de entrenamiento, por el mismo propósito, ¿verdad? Y al final de nuestra conversación salió como el tema de, hey, sos bueno para este trabajo. No me ofreció un trabajo como tal, pero sí me dio como un network de trabajos como en el extranjero, al que obviamente apliqué, pude conseguir un trabajo fuera del país. Y fue como un momento en el que pudimos compartir 2 personas completamente distintas. Mi compañero era de África, estaba trabajando en Estados Unidos, yo estaba trabajando en Guatemala en ese momento. Entonces te das cuenta de como hay mucha gente alrededor del mundo que está como en este mismo network, trabajando por las mismas cosas, y que lo más importante es que puedes compartir eso y puedes como unir fuerzas y lograr algo, ¿verdad? Que no estás solo. Y eso es como muy gratificante porque te da una visión global de lo que está pasando y lo que está haciendo, y te da como cierto respaldo en decir como de, no estoy yo solo haciendo locuras, sino como que hay un montón de gente loca que está haciendo lo mismo y te sentís más apoyado, ¿no? Más motivado. Y es mucho más importante a ese nivel como de peer-to-peer, no de como de mentor a mentee, porque es alguien que está en tus mismos zapatos, lidiando con las tareas, lidiando con la investigación pequeña que uno tiene que hacer, y es como de esa persona que te entiende exactamente en los challenges que puedes tener y cómo los vas a superar eventualmente.
Amazing. And I love how you both shared from the unique perspectives. And I think that's one of the beauties. You have people from so many different countries coming together, as well as different skill sets. You have your communications professionals, you have your public health professionals, someone is a monitoring and evaluation expert, and everyone comes together to discuss these leadership growth areas and then can share that specific knowledge that they bring, that perspective. And it is so beautiful and it's so inspiring, and you can do it from your home, from your office. And I love how you've experienced that growth, and also how you've inspired others, like you're sharing your stories with us. And I think about how many other scholars benefited from engaging with Maria, engaging with Brian. It's amazing. And so on that note, when talking about the Virtual Leadership Institute, as I mentioned in the beginning, we have these 5 modules that essentially one module is focused on each month. we have one, what we call a launch call. So all the scholars in one cohort join this launch call. We have a facilitator. In addition, I think both of you mentioned these peer coaching groups, which are usually a group of about 10 that join in a smaller conversation to deep dive, discuss more. There's some online activities, reflection activities you can do at home at your own pace. And there's some additional virtual conversations. We use communication channels like Slack, or maybe people have a WhatsApp group to engage. So throughout the whole Virtual Leadership Institute, I'd love for both of you to share if there was a specific activity or different activities that you really enjoyed and what you really liked about that activity. So Brian, we're going to turn to you first.
All right, perfect. I'll switch to English now. As I mentioned before, I also like the virtual coffee. That was really great because it was like an intimate moment when you were able to interact with other peers. I remember they had like 4 to 5, and those 4 to 5 was like the most productive virtual coffee I ever had. One of them like is the most remarkable that I mentioned before, but also the second one, it was with this woman from Madagascar. I learned a lot about Madagascar, about their culture, but also she was having troubles fundraising. I'm not an expert in fundraising, but I share some of my tips of fundraising whenever I travel abroad. And she was able to implement those things into her project. She was working on a school setting, trying to promote like public health for girls, like providing like female pads and things like that. And it was completely different from my project. It was more towards education, but like the things that we have in common is like we were both going to work in schools. So she kind of like guide me and address me how to like interact with the schools. Like, like you have to talk to the school counselor, to the directors, and show me some of the letters that she sent out. And that was super helpful. And the other aspect that I think it was really something that I enjoy because I'm more like into the organization part of like working in a project was actually working in the project itself. As a social worker, I knew or had foundations in project management or project coordination. But like the way the Atlas scores do it, I felt it was a lot more clear, and it was like based on your own skills and your outcomes and achievements. And it's something that is like really simple, really easy to do. And at the end, it was very effective. Because I've seen other like ways to like formulate a project. It seems to be very complicated, but at least for me, it was a way to do it like in a way that was simple, efficient, and I was able to share afterwards with other people. So it's not that it's like you're going to like be like immersed in that for like a whole day. Like you literally need 1 hour of your time to read a little bit, go through it, and just like if you need help, like there's a network of people that's there for like helping you. So the process itself is something that you can actually enjoy rather than be stressed out about it. That was the thing that was most important for me because I was working in a full-time schedule and I have little time, and what I needed to do is something like really quick but efficient and with quality.
That's such a great point. And I love that Maria mentioned that earlier too, this applied learning, that really the idea is to have this additional learning to enhance what you're doing in your day-to-day. And also there's this understanding, and Atlas Core has a structure for our Virtual Leadership Institute. And we also are there to support that life happens. We understand that as virtual scholars, you have other responsibilities. So we are ready to engage with that so that this Virtual Leadership Institute inspires what you're doing in your communities and is not a burden. So thank you for that. And Maria, how about you? What particular activities did you enjoy?
I definitely enjoyed the peer groups. So like we would meet one Sunday every month, and like we would just talk about our project or how we were doing and the course. But then we would also talk about like how's our lives. So like that was very helpful for me because like I would learn more about like what other people are struggling in like different countries and how similar we are. And then sometimes they had been through what I was going through, and they would just like give me tips. So it was also kind of like therapeutic, like we would like talk about the project, but then we would also discuss like personal matters, and it was really great. So I really enjoyed like the monthly meetings, and we all looked forward to it. It was like once a month for 2 hours, and like we loved it. So for me, I think that was my favorite part. Also, after the virtual after the virtual experience ended, I feel that we still were able to connect afterwards. So it's not only during the program. we connected afterwards. And also Atlas also gives you like opportunities to join panels, to join like different things after you're done with the not school, but with the process.
Institute.
So yeah, with the institute, so you're able to like still network even past the time.
That's such a great reminder. We are humans first while we're doing professional academic activities. It's the human connection and supporting one another on that level, whether actively in the program. And I love the active alumni engagement. And look, we invite you to amazing panels such as our live stream today, which we're so glad you both are here. And on that note, I would invite you to give closing remarks before I wrap up with some reminders about how to apply. So Maria, what is a last note that you'd like to share with potential applicants or people who might be thinking about applying for the Virtual Leadership Institute?
I think just do it, like apply and like don't be afraid. Like you won't feel it. It's once you're done with it, you're gonna be so happy that you did it, because like it's a moment where you're able to have a lot of introspection, but at the same time help others. So like I think that's my takeaway. Like you help yourself first, and then you're able to help others.
Great point. Help yourself first. And then Brian.
Yeah, I will say same as Maria, like just simply do it. And also like if you need help, reach out to any of us. I open my my arms. If anyone needs help, they can reach out to me on either Facebook or Instagram, or email, or just like, don't be afraid of doing it, because like you're missing a really great opportunity. Right now it looks really like fuzzy and confusing and like blurry, but like once you're there, you'll see like, okay, I'm doing this. Even though you haven't figured out a project idea, no worries. Like your mentor and your peers are going to help you with that. So just go for it, because like if you don't try it, then you will never know what happened.
You two are very motivating. Just do it. That is a great mantra for today. So Brian, Maria, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being an active part of the Atlas Core alumni community, and we really appreciate your perspectives today. So on that note, the Just Do It, I'm going to review how you apply and then go through. We have been receiving some questions, so I'm going to respond to some of those. So first, visit the webpage nicaragua.atlascore.org. It has all the information and how to apply. There's an online application that you can click from nicaragua.atlascore.org. And some specific questions. The maximum age is 35. So that's pretty standard for Atlas Core programs. So we anticipate applicants between 22 to 35 years of age. This is a program really tailored for that age group. Our application deadline, very important, November 15th, 2022. So just do it today and ensure you submit it by November 15th. And let's talk a little bit more about the leadership project. So it is a community project. When you apply, we'll ask you on your application, and we'll ask you if you have an idea of a community project you want to implement. For some of you, it may just be an idea. You do not need to have a project. You could suggest, as Brian and Maria were sharing a little bit about their project, something you want to work on and create throughout the Virtual Leadership Institute. Or it could be something you are already active on and you want to grow. That's what you can add, and during the program, you'll enhance it. So please do not be stressed or concerned about a leadership project. That is an activity you'll work on during the Virtual Leadership Institute. We do want to get a sense of where your interests are and where your ideas are on your application. So we will ask you about it. And let's talk about the language of the program. I very much enjoyed our bilingual conversation today, and I know we are specifically recruiting virtual scholars from Nicaragua. The Virtual Leadership Institute will be delivered in English, and the majority of our materials are in English because we are a multi-country program, and so that is our common language. We do invite, as you heard Brian and Maria say, how they engaged offline or in different contexts with some of their other scholars and part of the Atlas Core community. There may be opportunities for language exchange. We often see our Atlas Core leaders supporting one another as they're learning a language or teaching someone else a language. But in regards to the Leadership Institute, that will be delivered in English, and the application is in English. The short video, as I mentioned earlier, we do have about a 2-minute video of introduction we have on our application that we ask our applicants to submit. And the questions that'll be asked: why are you interested in participating in the Virtual Leadership Institute? How would the Virtual Leadership Institute impact your current and future professional goals? So I encourage you, write down your thoughts on paper and then verbally share that with us in a video recording. And remember, record yourself first, practice, and then record the final and upload it on your application. And at the end of the program, are there evaluations and certificates? Yes, there are evaluations and certificates. Throughout the 5 modules, we have different feedback sessions where you might have a written assignment, or through these peer coaching groups where you get feedback from your peer-to-peer learning circles, as well as from the Atlas Core team. They give feedback on something you submit. And then at the end, assuming that you complete all the requirements of the program, we do have a certificate that says Certificate of Achievement. You have successfully completed the Atlas Core Virtual Leadership Institute, and then you will be an Atlas Core alum. And that is lifetime membership. You'll have access to ongoing Atlas Core activities and trainings and opportunities. So know that the Virtual Leadership Institute is just your next step on this Atlas Core journey. And an application fee. There is no application fee. Go to nicaragua.atlascore.org, click on Start Your Application. There's no application fee. There's no fee to participate in the program. And so, on that note, I want to remind everyone, nicaragua.atlascore.org. November 15th is the deadline. The program, the active program, is 5 months long, starting March 2023 through July 2023. And we anticipate that our scholars will find out probably in about January of 2023. So apply now, and then we'll go through our selection process. So a lot of this information is available at nicaragua.atlascore.org. And I want to give a big thank you once again to Brian and Maria for sharing their experiences and their inspirations, and also sending them much encouragement for their continued positive impact they're having on their communities, in their regions, in our world, and in the Atlas Core community. And Atlas Core looks forward to receiving your application. Now is the time to take this next step on professional advancement, personal engagement. Remember, the priority deadline is November 15th. To be considered for this cohort starting in March 2023 and running through July 2023. So please go to nicaragua.atlascore.org and you can learn more. And from those of you who are just interested in learning more about Atlas Core, you can go to www.atlascore.org. You can learn more about our organizations and all the leadership programs that we offer and provide. Thank you, and we look forward to receiving your application.